safe rep. From cell blocks to classrooms, from courts to the street, designing programs where real people meet, community centers and facilities too, building bridges that carry us through. 50 states traveled, a map full of skies, showing how to journey with wide open eyes. Workshops and pages, your wisdom in ink. When the world needs mending, you help it rethink. Host of Just Jacks, we lift every voice. Re-entry with dignity, give people a choice. Restorative justice, repair what was torn. Conflict resolution, new trust can be born. Family reunification, bring loved ones back. Hosting Just Jacks, we stay on that track.
Guys, it's Just Jacks and Gus. I keep forgetting how long that song is. Mike LaFrance, so good. Love that song. I could listen to it over and over, and sometimes I do, just because, not just because of the words and because it kind of says my name a couple times. It's because he was gracious enough to do that for me without me telling him what words to put in there, not put in there. And it's just, it's important. It's important to highlight people that are good to you, that take care of you, that highlight you, even when they're not in your personal space. Now, guys, we've got two amazing people tonight. One that I know super well in person and all the good stuff, because literally she's in my own town. And one that I know through LinkedIn that I've got to watch his shows, and I've seen his support for so many people. So we're going to have a great time tonight. But I want to fill you in on a couple things that have been going on. Gosh, it has been a week. It has been a week. And oh, my dear Kinga is in the house. One of my thrift store necklaces. Thank you, Kinga. Yeah, it is a week. I was on last Monday. So every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Just Jacks and Guests. We usually have two different guests on. And last week, I was sitting in St. Charles, Missouri. I was part of the 2350 retreat with Damian Kinsey and Dr. Tanya Farron. Got to meet the amazing Dr. Rahim Young. Got to meet the amazing Dr. Mel, Tanya's daughter, Ani. We had so much fun. And now here I am back home, back in the normal place that I usually have as a background. One of these days, I'm going to change that too. But guys, so much has happened. Oh my gosh. How about for you? Has it been a heavy week? Has it been a kind of blah week? Has it been one of those weeks you've been accomplishing everything? Or has it been one of those ones that you're like, please, can we just redial and have a better week this week? I'm not sure. But for me, it's been intense. I've learned some things that I was hoping not to learn. I learned some things that I didn't even know I needed to learn. And I learned some things that I'm so grateful for. Yesterday, I was able to attend the amazing Miha retreat. Local lady. I didn't even know she existed until a couple of months ago. And I was connected with her through another friend. And then Angelita and I were both at the same wellness retreat with her yesterday. It's amazing how life can just connect you in different ways, with sometimes knowing and sometimes not even realizing it. So it's super cool. But a couple things. So I've been trying to figure out how to launch a few more things on my Just Jacks Advising page, and really trying to make sure that people know what I do and why I do it and all the good stuff. One of the things that I want to share from when we were in St. Charles and down in St. Louis is, so if you heard it in the song or you know me, I travel as much as I can, and I've been to all 50 states. And one thing you may not know is I do not buy souvenirs. I stopped doing that a gazillion years ago. There's just no reason for me to buy money or spend money on other people that weren't there. They don't want that stuff, right? So there was a restaurant Dr. Tanya had to take us to because it's famous pizza down in St. Louis area. And when we were walking out, I was like, oh my gosh, is that their gift card box? I need it. It's the babyest, tiniest pizza box I've ever seen. Look at this thing. It is the cutest thing. Now, they are not paying me to show them off, but they are so freaking cute. I had to do this. She asked if I could just have a box because I loved it so much, and they gave it to me without having to pay for a gift card. Guys, part of my Just Jacks Advising is doing small business advertising. Now, Emos does not need help with their advertising. People know them. People come from out of state to go there. But if you are in the West Michigan area, or if you're further away and you need our services, look and see if I can help you out, because it's stuff that I love to do. I love to promote cool things and cool people. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this show every Monday night, because I want to highlight really cool people. And sometimes those cool people are people you have known a long time. Other times they are people you have never hardly heard of. And somebody says, you might want to talk to these people, or you might want to get these people on the show. And there's a lot of people that are in the comments that have been guests, like Kinga was just a guest. I love that so much. Christy's been a guest. Jay, one of these days we're getting you as a guest. Noah, Mr. Noah, he is going to be on, and we are going to be dropping lots of stuff that he's gotten going on. Bernardo, you haven't been a guest yet, but I hope that happens soon. Thank you guys so much for being here. Of course, Christy has been here. I just love it so much. Sometimes we have a little glitches and we don't get all the names and comments to show up, so I apologize if I miss you. Dr. Marcia, I'm so glad that you're here tonight. Oh my gosh, we've got so much good stuff to talk about. And last week we had great stuff. We had the amazing Eric, and we had the wonderful Kinga. And if you've missed some of these episodes, go back, check out my YouTube page. You want to get to know these humans. You deserve to be highlighted as well. Just because you might not have as many letters behind your name as Miss Angelita does, you'll see that shortly. Just because you don't own a business, just because you're looking for a job, just because you're this or that, does not exclude you or make you better than any other guest. You deserve to be highlighted. Your voice is important. What you do, getting to know people, just as important. Did I forget to mention what else I did last week? Guys, I walked on a runway. First time in history, potentially the last time in history. I was able to be a purse model for a domestic violence center here in town. And if you can tell, I even highlighted just a little bit of purple. It doesn't show a whole bunch. It depends on the lights, because purple is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's also a ton of other awareness months. Even today is a special day in multiple countries. Really take time to get to know some history and get to know how to lift other people up and support people that maybe aren't celebrating or needing to have awareness, but yet they could use your support. So lots of cool stuff going on, and I love hearing what some people have going on for their weeks. Make sure that you let us know where you're tuning in from, what kind of questions you have. Noni's in the house. Thank you, my friend. And if you have questions for Omar or Angelita while they're talking, feel free to post them. If we have time, I'll bring them up on screen and they can answer them live. Otherwise, I'll go back into the event page and make sure that they're replying as much as they can. So are you guys ready for the first guest? Are you ready for Omar? I'm ready to bring him up. I hope he's as ready as I am. Mr. Omar, you are on stage. Jess Jackson, guest, welcome to the show.
Hello there, Jackie. I'm excited to be here. How are you doing today?
I am actually, for a Monday after a very intense week, I am doing phenomenal. I am kind of like refocusing myself. That wellness retreat yesterday really helped center a lot of things. And I talked to you backstage. I know you've had a really good day too. Your energy is just super exciting. So talk a little bit before we get into your 3 questions. Talk a little bit about how you and I connected. Do you even remember?
I think I was on LinkedIn and I saw you or Damien doing a show one time, and we had a Zoom call probably a year or two ago. But yeah, I'm the kind of person who likes to just connect with people. I don't remember the exact details of that.
No, that's
You
perfect.
mentioned the 50 states thing, and you mentioned that you've been Arizona is wonderful.
Mhm.
But yeah. What do you recall from the meeting?
You know, that's kind of it. And that's the reason that I kind of put you on the spot with that, because so many people just think that you have to have known somebody for years and years to bring them as a guest. You do. We're going to talk in a few minutes about some of your shows you do, some of the games that you host. And you don't have to have somebody that's been there forever and been there through all of it. And you mentioned Damien's name, and that's exactly how we first met, because Damien and I did a ton of audio events on LinkedIn before we actually had to show our faces live. And you would pop up and you would support us. And that's the one thing that I remember about you so much, Omar, is that you would show up to so many rooms. You didn't always go on stage. Sometimes you did, but you were there. And I still see that in the lives today. And so I was so excited that you were willing to be a guest for us. And I want to start off, before we start highlighting all about you, I want to start off with our three questions. So people that usually come to watch Just Jackson Guest, they get to learn more about just you and your work, what you can offer people, what you do on your shows and stuff. And so we're going to start by getting to know you a little bit more by having you share two things that you are proud of about yourself, Omar. Things you've either accomplished or things you've taken care of, business that you're happy that is you've either moved past or you're moved into.
Awesome. First of all, I'm usually the person who asks questions, so this is interesting to change it a bit around. And so, I mean, something interesting about me, or something that I'm always a positive person, but repeat the question. I guess I'm trying to
Two things
how to
you're
word it.
proud of that you have
Something I'm
accomplished. So
proud
it's
of.
all about you.
I'm proud of. I mean, I'm always a positive person. There's a lot of achievements, you know. Probably proud of having a good family, having a good job, having a good life, and be thankful for all the things that are coming in your life. You know, maybe the quiz show as well is a plus, but having a very positive energy, getting up, sleeping well, having good people around you, from a young age. I'm 40, and so having that energy, it always makes you feel good. You know, you have your negative days, the days you don't feel good, but I turn it around with my mind. You know, I mean, that moment, 10 minutes later, I'm laughing about it. So you have to laugh about the situation, otherwise, it would go miserable. You know, that's how I am.
Definitely positivity is something that exudes from you, and I appreciate that. And you deserve to be absolutely impressed by yourself, like the things you've accomplished, the things you've done. And I love that you threw in family there, and you deserve to do some really good stuff for yourself and to keep moving forward. And even though you're positive and even though you've accomplished things, we like to know what is one area that you are still growing in? What is something you're trying to work through or accomplish?
Something I'm trying to. I mean, most of the things I'm trying to do, I always try to do my best. So it's very hard for me. I'm very thankful of where I'm at now. Maybe have more of an audience, more people who are interested in my shows. Maybe be able to accomplish by traveling to more places. But at this point in my life, I'm pretty satisfied. I mean, there was a point where I wasn't satisfied with my job, having the good career. I guess I can say I could potentially be able to find a job where I can move up more in what I'm doing. I work for a tech company, and I'm doing tech support kind of thing. Maybe move up or move more of a little bit of a lenient job rather than high stress kind of situation. But I learned to get into that. I've been with them for 5 years. Oh, Annie, good to see you there. Yeah, a good friend of mine. Also, Kinga, she's in the audience. Good supporters. She's from Europe as well, so we have that background. But that's what I would say. Yeah, maybe improving my job, trying to get a better job, and open up. And I'm always satisfied with what comes, and be supportive with everything that happens. Be happy with it.
I love that. I love that. So he wants some more followers on his show, guys. Usually it's a Sunday show, correct, Omar? Like right
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm booked until January. But
no, but
if
to
you
follow
wanna
you to watch your
join,
show.
I'm always. Yeah, watch the show, and then maybe guest in the future as well. Like Jackie will definitely be a guest on my show. Hint, hint. uh,
Good, good. Well, I'm excited. So you mentioned the world maybe or the word maybe travel. And that's the third question that I have for you before you get to talk a little bit more about yourself. If you could go anywhere right now, Omar, it doesn't matter where it is, what kind of money you have, how much vacation time you have, where would you go right now if you could go anywhere and why?
that's interesting because that's a common question I ask on my show. Almost every other guest. And actually, when I turned 40 in November, I took a trip and I traveled around the world to meet some of my connections, right? I went to Chicago, I went to Washington, D.C., I went to Turkey, I went to Bosnia. And so having that ability to go, I went to England as well. So my mindset now, I've already traveled there. But if I would go and travel another place, maybe it would be someplace I haven't been. Maybe the Middle East, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, those places. I haven't been there. And I have some friends from college that I attended to a selling connection with. It'll be interesting to see that part of the world, ride a camel or see what kind of food they eat. That would be interesting. That would be unique to travel. If I had an extended vacation from work, 4 or 5 weeks, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Now you said, did you say you're from a European country then?
Yeah, originally from the Balkans, from Bosnia.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
when you connected with Kinga, I have family from Hungary or from Hungary. So they say
Oh,
that's why I talk with my hands. I think it's a couple other reasons though too. So I was
yeah.
like, oh,
So you're from your mom's side or from your
mom's.
dad's side? You're Hungarian.
Well, my mom's side had both Hungary and Austria, and then my dad's
Oh,
side is all over the place. So
interesting. Yeah. And so I was there well, it was Yugoslavia back then. My grandparents are from there. And so my parents moved here a long time ago in the 80s. But then we kept the culture and all that. But I was there in October. It was amazing to see some friends and family, and how the culture is. It's amazing. In fact, there was a popular singer who actually passed away. 100,000 people were at his funeral. Like over there, like they take them as like celebrities. They're very important people.
okay.
They shut down everything, and they had his funeral today. He passed away a few days ago. Very inspirational person. Um, they say about him that anytime he goes to the pharmacy, somebody needs medication, he would pay for the entire people in there. So he was just a good person. So it's amazing that all these people were gathering. It's like a day for him.
That is so cool because
Yeah.
sometimes we don't realize the good that some people do, especially when they're elevated, or maybe when you don't realize that there's somebody that's going to take. I love that she's talking about her hands too. Yeah, my mom always complained about that. She's like, it's because we're Hungarian. I'm like, okay.
It's a European habit. That's okay.
I love it. I love it.
Uh,
I also think when we have a lot of energy or we have a lot to say, and the older I get, the more it's like it's so hard to get everything out of my brain and out of my mouth at the same
yeah.
time. It's so funny. Well, we have
Yeah.
so many great people showing up. Teacher's here. Oh, I just am so happy to see her. And we've got Kenny's here and Bill's here. Oh my gosh, there's so many great people that are in the house. Gregory's here. We're doing a couple continents already. We're getting a couple
And
different
it's a
countries.
perfect time. I think a lot of people are waking up now in Africa and stuff like that. And then we're almost not about sleeping time, 9, 10, almost your time. But
Yeah.
that's a good time, right? People, I don't know how it is in Australia. They're probably still waking up now, or it's afternoon there, right?
I was going to say it's usually better in Australia than it is in like the UK right now. I think Mr.
Yeah.
Ennie, when he's here, I think it's what does he say, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and he's willing to
Yeah.
show up, which is so cool. I appreciate that so much. Guys, some of you know Omar very well. Some of you probably know him better than I do. He has been doing some of his shows for quite some time. Will you kind of walk us through, Omar, what your show's about, and then jump right into your game show? Because I'm so excited to learn more about that.
Oh yeah. I mean, my game show's been around for like 5, 6 years now. But the show I'm in my fourth season now. So I started it, I think, in 2023 around that time. And the idea was me watching all these people from LinkedIn. Started with Donald Cohen. I'm not sure if you know Donald Cohen, the guy with the hat, and who I met actually a month ago. I actually traveled to Colorado to meet him
Yeah.
because he's an inspiration. We had dinner. But seeing his show every single day, he did it for an hour. I'm actually going to be on the show again in this Thursday. We taped the show in person. But the show is basically getting to know these people from LinkedIn and then expanding to people that I know in my personal life and other places to get to know who the humanity is in this world, right? We get to ask them fun questions. I share the questions on the board, and then it's more of fun. What do you like to do in the morning? We dig in their brains, and we got to think about different situations. What if I went to the beach one day and then I see a shark, right? What do I do? Or stuff like that. Do I run? And someone would be like, I have nothing to do with water. I just want to get out. I don't really. And so did we skip? Okay, we'll skip that question. But or stuff like that. So it's unique of what people would think. So they shut it down right away, and then they move on to the next one. So stuff like that. So that's amazing. And I've had always the same guests, new guests all the time. I've never had the same guest, unless I call them back and forth. And people always say yes. Like they love, I guess, being to know who they are. It's a popular thing now, right? It's amazing.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think the fact that you highlighted being able to meet LinkedIn connections in person is amazing. I have you counted how many you've met?
Have I what?
Have you counted how many you've met in person?
So when I went on my trip, I met about 30 people and some new people. I'll say about 30 people. Yeah,
That's
not all of them
amazing.
from LinkedIn. Some of
Um,
them from my job, some of them from other places, and some of them from other websites I met during COVID. Because during COVID, that was lockdown, so we met a lot of people, and that's when I started my quiz show. And a lot of them were like, "Oh, are you coming to Turkey? Or are you coming to England? Or are you?" Because I met Eddie in person too. He was one of the people I met.
I
I also
didn't
met
know
him.
that.
I met Matt Allen. So yeah, he was amazing. He was about 7 feet tall. You know, he's very tall guy. And so yeah, it's amazing. Do you know Matt Allen as well from Kudos? I don't know if you have seen
Mm,
him. Um,
I'm not positive right now.
yeah, definitely. He does a lot of comedy, and so we do different shows together sometimes to make things funny. But I met him in person. I have a couple of cousins in England as well. But I would say about 25 to 30. Hi, Jane. She was also on the show as well on Super D last
He's
season,
so good.
the first episode. So she's awesome. But yeah, I think it was about 30s. But now I'm doing a trend where I want to like travel. I went to Colorado. I might go to San Francisco. There's a few people, so I'm kind of copying you in terms of traveling and meeting people. So is that okay to do the copyright? Can we copy this?
You can copy it. Maybe Mike will put you in a song too about 50 states traveled. I think so. I stopped counting a little after 200 LinkedIn connections that I've met. So I am
Well,
somewhere between like 255, 260 now after meeting some of the great people when I
wow.
was down in Missouri. So most of those were intentional. Some of them were from my hometown that I had never met in person. So they either found me or I found them. Like
Yeah.
Eric here. Eric's on the other side of the state. He was a guest last week, but we've been
Wow.
able to meet a couple times, and then he's actually done some Zoom meetings with some of my clients as well, which is super cool. Now, Lay,
Amazing.
I just got to meet Lay by Zoom. I haven't met her in person yet, but she is somebody that went to the Work Life Balance Summit. And so I'm like, oh, I got to go see her. She's in California. And then Jane's in California. I got to see me some Jane someday. I mean, I just got to see her in
Yeah,
Theodore and be
amazing.
able
Yeah,
to,
awesome.
mhm, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot, like for example, last year, so I also tutor as well. And so some of my clients were through the tutoring. And so when I flew to LA, I knew a friend of mine there, they're Vietnamese. And so they said, "Oh, you can stay at our house. Are you sure?" So they picked me up. I stayed with them. They were kind of my student. She's a professor and her family. So I stayed with them. And we saw some shows there, game shows in LA area. But that's amazing. They find out and they want to, pick you up and stuff like that, and then take you places. So it's amazing.
That's
So
so cool. Breaking
yeah,
down those barriers. And most of the time, people are who they seem like in person. And then sometimes they are not exactly, or they're not quite as comfortable talking, or they're a little awkward, or maybe
yeah,
I'm a little too intense for them. But most everybody's been pretty true and real, what I expected. Now, some people changed. Like there's people I've met in person that I barely hear from or talk to anymore. And that's okay too. If you have to move on, you have to move on. But the real deal people, they're going to be there whether you only ever talk to them through your phone or laptop or if you actually get to see them in person. So I am really bummed that we didn't connect with you when I was out in Arizona the last time, but I do plan on getting back there at least by next summer because I'm weird. I love going there when it's super hot because if it's super hot, that means there's less tourists and the prices are way cheaper. So I tend to go when it's super hot when there's not as many people. So hopefully it's not when you're traveling other places and we can connect next time for sure.
yeah,
Damien's in the
definitely.
house.
Let me know whenever. Yeah, that would be great. Always great to new people. But I also want to comment. That's also good. Yeah, as you grow and you meet new people, there are people who will leave your life, and so that's something that I probably learned to grow. That in the beginning, you're like want to be attached to people when I was younger, but now as you grow older, you're like, leave that person, or this happens, or that kind of. And there's a reason why, and you have these other people, and you're right. There are people you can complain to them whatever you want. They're still stick with you, but there's others you tell them one small thing, they block you as if they don't know who you are, and they don't even do anything with you.
Or they won't use their words and explain what happened or what changed, and it's
Yeah,
something that you can't control. We just can't control
that's
other
right.
people. And I read something, it was either I either heard it or I read it somewhere that you can't have more than, I think it's like 240, 230, maybe 220 like people that you interact with almost on like a daily, weekly basis. Otherwise, you just discombobulate. Like you get so stressed out and you get so pulled in different directions. And I'm like, I talk to almost that many people every day and then some. So I'm like, maybe there is a reason we're supposed to move on and have different people.
Yeah, I've
So
had them like that too. I tried to get talk, but then now I'm like getting less and less. I'm like, if this person does, I don't hear from them in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It's okay, you know. You learn to grow and move on, you know. And so, but yeah, you're right. You know, it's important. But you have your life, you know. You don't want to be too much mentally attached to that, and you get
yeah.
a little bit upset.
Well, and I love the fact that each one of your guests have been different. You haven't had repeat guests. So tell us how to find your shows, Omar, because I know you're a different time zone from me, so you're 3 hours behind. But tell us when we can find your weekly show, and then when will Zoom Jeopardy start airing again?
Perfect. Yeah. The game show, the podcast show is on Sundays at noon, noon Eastern. It's called Do We Really Know These People? You can find me on YouTube. Just search Do We Really Know Them?
Perfect.
And then also on LinkedIn, you can find me there. You can message me. Very easy. I have over 200 subscribers now, all from watching the show. Like I didn't promote anything, all that. Aaron Gibson was on the show, other people, you know. And so, hey, you want to be on the show? You'll be on there. So that's how you can find me. You can PM me, very easy. And yeah, love to have you on. And I'm booked until the new year. And always looking for interesting and wonderful guests. As long as you're willing to tell a story and you're entertaining, I'll bring you on.
I
And
love.
then the game show, we're taping actually Wednesday for season 6. We have some fabulous people from LinkedIn. Some you know, some you may not know. Somebody from Slovenia. We have Stanley Green. Do you know Stanley Green?
Oh
He's going to be
yeah.
participating. We did a special with him a couple of weeks ago. It was live. Leslie Flowers was a contestant, so it was amazing. We have other people, some people that I met through my employment, other places, and they say, yeah, we'll be on there. And you follow up with them, they'll yeah. So that's amazing. One guy just saw the application, signed up, and I said, "How do I know you?" He's like, "I saw the ad." So let's have a Zoom. We talked for like 10 minutes, and he happened to be in Flagstaff, Arizona. So he'll be on the show. I never met him. I don't know him. Most of the people I've had a relationship with, I talked to them. They've seen the show. But yeah, it's amazing. I always love to have new people. You know, not the same guest over and over again. It's like, okay, what do you know? It's nice to be on the quiz show. I've had one guest who failed the first season. Is I brought him up. You can make it. Second season, he didn't really do well again. But it's always interesting. But so I might also do tournament of champions thing where I get like
Ooh.
different people coming in, and that one might bring some ratings or bring some interesting uniqueness and more of a fun kind of thing. It'll bring like three players who wins move on to the next round. Yeah, so I'm in the talks thinking about that. Yeah, so
That's so cool. So
yeah,
I got to tell you, my mom still sets her clock basically by Jeopardy, the real show, and
yeah.
I don't think I've watched the real show in maybe a decade or something. So it's like I think it's almost for me, it's like I get a little bit of anxiety. Like, what if I don't know the answer? What if I don't know the answer? But I am so excited to watch your new season because I just can tell from your vibe, Omar, how much fun everybody has to have on there and how exciting and fast paced it's got to be. You are bringing joy to so many different people by all the highlights you do and all the fun questions and the games and stuff. And love that you're meeting people in person. Lay had asked what time zone, and you said it's noon Eastern Standard. So it'd be noon for me. She's over in California, so she'd be your same time zone. So that would be 9 o'clock,
9 a.m. Yeah,
9
9
a.m.
a.m. for
Okay.
my Sunday show. Yeah, so we have this week actually we have a guy named Moses, not the Moses, but the Moses from Africa, and he does a lot of good things for humanity. And I'll put the flyer probably today. I didn't have time, and then after that we have a kid. He's like a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, the youngest kid from the show. He was also on the Kids Zumperty. If you see Jacob, you've seen Jacob last season. He's pretty awesome. And then after that, we have a couple more people. We have a charity in Bosnia. We have a lady that I met there and her husband. They do some charity work there, and so they're happy to be on the show. Hopefully, you know, we always book and then they can change. So that's something that your mindset has to be okay with, you know. So yeah, I'm excited, and we have some more wonderful guests here that I'd like to keep them as a surprise. And you never know, you know, maybe one day we'll just pop in. And so I do other surprises where maybe somebody pops in and then I bring their guest. So maybe I can bring you on and then have Damien as a surprise guest wink, wink. But I don't know, you know. So I bring, see, I research people and I see who knows who, and so I bring you on, then I bring your cousin. All of that. So I do some homework, you know.
I love it.
I try to be sneaky on things and you know bring the people together. That's who I am. I love people, and I always love to bring um, people around. I call my uncles, my cousins, my aunts, everybody just to see how they're doing, and other people around. You know, but that's who I am. You know, I've always been a social person. When I was in second grade, I invited the whole class, like the teacher, everybody. Like there's a picture of me. I was 10 years old or 8. I don't remember. But I brought the whole class and we played games.
Omar,
But
your
you're friendly.
spirit, your joy, you are just a trip, and I have enjoyed you so much. I told you the time was going to go so fast, and boom, we're
Oh
just
yeah.
over. There are definitely some questions in the comments for you. Make sure that you go back and not only just answer those, drop your YouTube link in there, drop any of your upcoming show events or anything like that, because people want to support you. I mean, you already got a great following, but there's a few new watchers tonight, and I want to make sure that they know how to connect with you and they can support you. They can be highlighted to be somebody after January when you start opening up spots again. I'm so excited to be on your side as a host next time. But thank you for taking the time to be on my hot seat and being here with everybody. Omar, so great to see you. Have a great rest of your night, okay?
Thank you so much. Glad to be here. And had
Bye
fun.
bye. I knew he was going to be great, but he might even talk faster than I, guys. So that was super great. I love getting to know him more. Guys, it is pretty cool stuff. He has done, what did he say, 52 episodes with never repeating a guest. So I do repeat some guests on here if they have something extra special going on, or if somebody just wants to really focus on a certain topic. I am still taking guests for all of November and December, guys. So if you're interested in being a guest on Just Jackson Guests, again, it goes super fast because there's usually 2 people each night. So you get about 22 to 25 minutes, depends on how much I talk on my own. But guys, you deserve to be highlighted. So make sure that you message me. Let me know if it's something you're interested in doing. The only request I have is be respectful. That's not just to me, it's to people in the comments. It's to people that you don't even know might be watching or are just fellow humans. There's enough ick in this world. There's enough people stressed out in this world. There's enough people that are already trying to pit people against each other. We're not doing this on this show, okay? We are respecting. We are trying to be as focused on mental wellness as possible, because life is hard, guys. Life is hard. And it's even hard for people that work in the mental health field. Like my next guest, she does a couple things. But guys, did you ever in your life think that I would write the word tequila on LinkedIn? Yeah, I did it. I did it because of this beauty. She's everything, and now she's a tequila mistress. Is that a word? Because I think that's what you are, aren't you, my dear? Angelita, thank you for being here. You are just a gem, and we have so many things that cross paths in our lives for what, probably 10 or more years now, I think at least. And I need people to get to know you as much as I know you, or maybe even more than I know you, because you're amazing. I could sit here and talk about you for hours and hours, and I'm going to pull up some of your cool pictures in a little bit. But I love to start off getting people to just kind of know who you are as a human before we start talking about this. And look how tiny your name is. On LinkedIn, you go for 75 miles with all your acronyms and all your degrees and all your licenses, which I love. A little bit of jealousy for it, but I love how much you put yourself out there and how much you've done. But we're going to start with some questions, because I got a lot of people watching you right now that may not know everything cool about you like I do. But before we're going to do that, I am going to say, anytime I know somebody in person, I try to highlight a picture with us, because you just exude this aura, this energy that more people need to see. And when you can get a selfie with her, it's even better. Look how quiet you are. You just let me doing all the talking already. Are you ready to jump in and answer some questions for us?
Let's do it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, Miss Angelita, oh my gosh, this is going to be a very difficult question for you to answer. But what are 2 things, just 2, that you are either proud of yourself for, that you are so thankful that you've accomplished or that you've done? Let us hear them.
That's a loaded question, but I think in this season of my life, I'm really proud of just being me. I think we try to have perfection and we try to do all of these things and put one more thing on our plate. And so I'm just proud of the life that I'm living, and I'm just so thankful.
I love that. You got to come up with at least one more thing.
I mean, across the board, being the first in my family to go to college, having my own successful businesses. My oldest business is 12 years old. I have 12 staff and 6 master level interns right now. There's so many things to be thankful for, and those are all of my proud things because they're mine, and I get to live this life.
So living this life is yes, but you help other people live their life. You employ people, you help them through their education to be fellow social workers or clinicians. You are helping clients so that they can adapt to mental health needs that they have. So it's like, she's like all saying, yeah, this is my life. It's great. But no, your life is literally trickling down to so many other fellow humans. And I can't thank you enough for that. What she did not say, which she could have said is, she could have said she's proud of being an author. Amazing book. You guys got to get this. You got to check it out. There is a link that I posted for the book in the event page. If you scroll back to that, feel free to check that. Now she got some money, y'all, because again, she has innovative ideas. She does some pretty cool stuff, but no, she didn't say, I'm proud of winning this money, did she? Guess what else she didn't say she's proud of? That she was just named one of the 25 top Latino voices in West Michigan. Guys, do you know how many Latinos are in West Michigan? You are so deserving, my dear.
Well, thank you for all of those accolades. They're beautiful.
You deserve them. You deserve them. But what you did talk about, of course, is you talked about your business. And I want to digress before we jump into your other questions, because you talked about your business being 12 years old, and it's not just a business. It's not just a counseling agency. It is something that we have needed in our town and in our part of the state for a very long time. Will you share a little bit about what makes you different?
Absolutely. So our official name is Servicios Esperanza, and in English, it's Services of Hope. We are a mental health clinic. That's an outpatient-based clinic for all ages. We serve as young as 6 years old right now with play therapy, art therapy, sand tray, all the way up. We do ADHD testing, substance abuse counseling. We have services available in Spanish. We offer telehealth throughout the state. There's just so many things that our office does. And the reason I created this business was to make sure that we were filling in the gaps of service. I think Muskegon County, I say, sometimes has a luxury of having so many different resources and services. And so I'm always looking how to be different. I call our office eclectic because we have a little mixture of everything. And I think that's the whole point. We want to make sure that we're treating folks the way that they need to be treated and giving them a difference. There are so many cut and dry, like, I don't want to go to counseling. It's boring. And then they come here and we're like, hey, let's try all these things. There's even laugh therapy. That's a thing.
Yeah, and it's so cool. I think that's one of the things that people overlook in therapy. They think it has to be all sad and I got to go back and I just got to be re-traumatized and they're going to treat me like my therapist did a few years ago, or they're going to judge me. And that's not what therapy should be. And it should be tailored to that person. Now, I know a lot of your staff. They are amazing humans, and you cultivate that culture in your workforce that trickles down into your clients, which trickles out into the community. And we need more people like that. We need that kind of environment. And we have had Angelita and some of her staff come over and train our staff. We have had them come over and do different programming for some of our clients. It is something that you don't need to do everything alone. You need to collaborate. You need to work with people. And when there are gaps, you need to have Angelitas in your community that are willing to say, hey, that's not going on anymore without this, or we're not having people that don't represent these people, or they don't speak their language. Here we are, ready? And I love that. So thank you for that. So if you are connected with Angelita on LinkedIn, she has a ton of acronyms and different licenses behind her name. If you know her in real life, you know how involved she is and how many different degrees and licenses she has. No matter how intelligent this human is, no matter how many businesses she has, she's still growing just like us. Did you hear how her first thing that she was proud of is that in her season of her life, she's actually taking care of herself. She's actually enjoying life. But even with all of that, you got to still be growing in something, my dear. Will you share with us what is something you're working on personally or professionally?
I think I am working on all the things. Sometimes I have clients that come in and they're like, "Oh, but you have the answers or you know what's going on." And I'm like, "No, there's no difference between you and I. We are all working on something all of the time." And I think in this season, I want to have good physical health. I want to have good mental health. I want a well-rounded life. I think in my 20s, if you signed me up for every single overtime hour, I was going to do it because I wanted lots of money. I wanted to do all of these things. And now I want to enjoy life and I want to slow it down. And so, really being mindful of my relationships and the things that I'm committing to. I think we say, "Oh, I've had my best friend forever," or "Oh, I have an amazing marriage." Well, what work are we putting into it? How are we nurturing those relationships? I can't just say, "Oh, yes, I've been with my husband for 21 years and we've been married 17. Yes, that's all true. And we still have to ignite that fire and do that work because he is the most important person in my life. So, thinking about how we're doing those things, are we checking in on our friends and family? Are we showing up? I can say, "Oh, I'm so tired. I just want to sit at home." Or I can say, "You know what? My friends are important to me, and so I'm going to make sure that I get out to that girls' night, or we have dinner together, or I'm just calling to check in." And so those are the things that I'm working on right now because I want people to know that I appreciate them in my life and that I need them to be the best version of me.
That is amazing. And when you are a naturally born, I don't know if go getter is even good enough of a word, but you want to help, you want to heal, you want to achieve, you want to accomplish, you want to trickle down, you want to do all the things. It is hard to slow down to really not just take time for you, but to really cultivate some of those relationships. And I just think that's amazing. And being able to see you at the Miha retreat yesterday was just one of those things that it's like, I knew you and Pat were connected. I knew, you're so supportive and positive in the Latino community, but I'm like she's going to have time to be there. And I saw you there and I'm like, yes, she is investing in herself just like she tells everybody else to do. So I'm so proud of you. Good job.
Thanks. That was fantastic. I would have never tried acupuncture. I'm scared of needles. I would have never. And when I tell you, I was so relaxed and so calm. And I think that this work is working because as soon as they put the little pins in there, all I could do, my heart was just so filled with gratitude. And I started to cry like 2 minutes in. And it wasn't because I was sad. It was because I literally am so grateful and thankful right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I made a post this morning on LinkedIn and talked about how some women tear each other down, and it's really easy to just act like you're their friend 1 minute and then just complain about everything or just want to make them feel bad. I felt so much love in that room. And there were only like 3 of you guys that I knew. And people were asking my name and they were asking if I spoke Spanish or if I was bilingual. They were hugging me. They were hugging me, Angelita. And that is what women and all humans need to be doing to lift people up. And I am so glad that you got that positive experience because I did too. And it was just like, why isn't this an everyday? Why isn't this when we go to our offices and we go to our works and we go to our family? We do all of this stuff and we're always seems to be in competition with each other, or we feel like we're not good enough. So we want to make sure other people aren't as good either. And the fact that it brought tears to you without you even expecting it, that says the power that was in that room. I love that so much. I love that. I'm so glad you did that. So you travel often, as you know, I love to do. One of these days, we're actually going to travel together or end up in the same place together, especially when you get your Airbnb going down there. But where would you go right now if it was for nothing other than you wanting to go there? No costs, no timelines, nothing like that. Where would you go right now?
I want to go everywhere. I want to go to Dubai. I want to go to Greece. I want to go back to Europe. I want to try everything and go everywhere. And I think this is year 3. I made a commitment that I was taking 6 trips every year. I have 2.5 months to have my 6th one for this year, but it is a thing. And it's so funny because I don't know, maybe 7 years ago, 10 years ago, earlier in my career, I worked all of the time. And I had started taking like 1 trip a year. And the girls were like, "Are you okay? Are you having a midlife crisis? Is everything good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just going on vacation." They're like, "Oh my gosh, that is so weird. Like, you've never done that before." And now everyone's used to it because it's important. I want to see things. I want to have that work-life balance. And I just want to see things. You have to live. We can't just be on the go all the time.
Yeah, I love it. Sometimes, like, I'll text her and she'll be like, "Hey, I'm in Mexico. Sorry, I didn't get back to you right away." And I'm like, don't be sorry that you're enjoying your trip and enjoying life. I love that so much. And it's so good for, again, your staff to see you taking that time for yourself. It's important for those clients to say, yes, I will have you in the books when I return, and you're going to have some time to do things on your own while I'm gone. And that's something that we don't learn as little kids, to really schedule in time for ourselves, to take care of ourselves and to do the things we want and to see the things we need. Because if we stay in our little box, Gregory had asked, like, what is West Michigan? So it depends on the person you're asking, but it's usually kind of like this little hump around, kind of like the end of your pinky to about halfway down your thing. It's our town is right up against Lake Michigan. A lot of the towns in West Michigan are on, but the bigger town in Michigan is called Grand Rapids. They try to steal the West Michigan name because they pretend to think that they're by the lake, but they're really not. But you trickle into all of those spaces and places, and having people be able to see you. Now, people may not have the kind of finances or vacation time to take 6 trips that would be like out of the state, out of the country, but you can take day trips. You can take trips right in your own hometown without even using any money. Any money. There are parks and there are different events that are free in places that we don't even think about exploring. But when you go somewhere different, Angelita, doesn't your whole vibe just change when you're not stuck in seeing the same roads, the same people, the same anger and violence that might be in your town, or even the same rich people walking around that don't look like they have problems, and you're like, am I the only one that can't do that,
Mm-hmm. I think it just gives us that perspective because we do get stuck in that routine, and it's not a bad thing. It's okay to be in your routine and to be about your business and to do those things. And it's also okay to say, I want some different experiences, and it doesn't have to cost money. Like, there are so many people that live in our hometown that have never even been to the lake. It is 15 minutes away from us. Or yesterday, Jackson and I were at this retreat. It was in a log cabin, 15 minutes away. I would have never even known the place existed.
It was gorgeous. Like the
Beautiful.
location, the building. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Never knew it was there.
15 minutes away from us. And so we both got a new experience yesterday. And those are the things, those are the trips, those are the dates that we can go on.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for saying that, because, so many people I know, they will save up for like 2 to 3 years for this trip of a lifetime. And they are so stressed the whole time. They're like saving the money. They're working the overtime. They're not buying certain things. They're so frustrated. And then they have this trip, and there's so much stress involved in it because, okay, we paid for it. Now we can't spend too much money, or we can't do this while we're gone. And I'm just like, whew, if that's your version of relaxing and looking forward to things and the way you want a vacation, because I kind of did that when I was a lot younger with littler kids too. But if you really want to just have that vacation mindset, you don't have to spend the money. You don't have to drive hours. You don't have to hop on a plane. If you're able to, that's amazing. And I totally encourage it when you're able to and it's safe for you. But you don't have to just limit yourself, and please don't compare yourself to other people, because if this person loves to go, Omar talked about going back to Europe and different countries, and you're talking about different countries. It's okay to not leave your community. It's okay to not leave your state, but please try to see different people, different humans, different buildings, maybe different lakes. Like we saw that bayou that we were at with the retreat yesterday. Different natural resources can heal ourselves as well. And I love that you brought that up. Angelita, tell us more about you. Tell us, like, you are so humble, which you do not need to be, because this show is all about highlighting yourself. What is some things that you want to share? Because you have not really brought your tequila world and your counseling world together yet. So we're kind of highlighting that too. Guys, tequila. Can you imagine having your own brand name tequila?
Yeah. Most people don't know that I'm a serial entrepreneur, because as you see, when I am off of work, I am kind of very quiet. I'm in the shadows these days. But between my husband and I, we own 6 different businesses, from a mental health clinic to residential, commercial real estate, residential real estate. I co-authored a book with my niece. I have a consulting business now, and this new business venture, was born from a girls' trip in 2020. We went to Mexico, and my sister had just passed, and we went for Day of the Dead. And it was the most beautiful experience. I was healed in so many ways going to Day of the Dead in Mexico. And the end of the trip ended in Tequila, Mexico. It's in the state of Jalisco in Mexico. And fun fact for those of you that don't know much about tequila, tequila can only be produced and bottled in Tequila, Mexico. Well, not Tequila, Mexico. It's the state. It's Jalisco, Mexico. And that is where the capital is Guadalajara. And most people don't know that, just like champagne can only be made in Champagne, France. So there's a fun fact for you for tequila.
Yeah.
And we stayed at a distillery, and at that time, Santana's tequila was being distilled, and Kylie Jenner's tequila was being distilled at the distillery. And we said, wouldn't that be fun if we had our own tequila? And my friend is a tequila connoisseur. She has at least 300 different tequilas at her restaurant. It's one of the most tequila options in West Michigan. And so the next day we met with the distillery, and it has been a process ever since. Now, most of our friends think it's hilarious because I'm not even a drinker. And so they're like, why are you two doing it together? I am a Latina ambassador. I love all things Latino. I think it's important for me to share my culture. And tequila is one of those things that give you the history, the authenticity. It shows you all of the craftsmanship, because this is just the agave fields and how beautiful and rich the culture is. These bottles are going to be hand labeled by women that are intentional about the way that it looks, the aesthetics of it, even our marketing team. Everything that it touches is going to give a piece of us, from the colors, from the faces that you see on our logo. And I just think it's important to share that part of our culture and to give folks a well-rounded experience and to give them the education, because lots of times you hear tequila and you're like, oh, I'm going to be drunk. Well, this is premium tequila. You don't just take shots. This is for sipping. It's for sharing. It's for being intentional with your friends and making sure that we're talking. And so I am so excited about this new venture. It is a female-owned tequila company. Now, 52% of women actually are tequila drinkers, and only 5% of them are actually women-owned. So we're super excited to bring this new business venture. It will hit the United States in January. It's in production right now. So we're just so excited. And again, it's that learning curve. I am coming from a completely different world of mental health all the way over to tequila. And I'm just looking at retirement. I want to be retired in the next 5 years because I will be under 50. I want to be retired. And I just think, again, I'm working on these things because I want to live a well-rounded life. And how do I know I'm going to live to 70 or to 80? And will I be able to move or walk by then? I want to live this life because I only get this life. And so that's my new fun job, I would say.
You know, I'm so glad it's fun for you, first of all, because, you know business and you know how to establish businesses and marketing and everything, which is amazing. But so many people don't have fun jobs, or even their side hustles aren't fun anymore. They feel forced to do it. They feel obligated. They feel like they would be a failure if they walk away from it. And fun is something that, especially in the American mindset, we don't tend to have a connection between fun and work. It's go hustle, get the job done, get the paycheck, and deal with it later. Get up the next day and do it all over again. And when you use that word fun, I think it not just fun as in like you're enjoying it, but also fun as in you're able to control your narrative. You're able to say, this is something I enjoy. I get to have fun working. I get to have fun doing this. And one of the things we had talked about before, actually just yesterday, we were talking about how your two worlds are so different, but they're so alike in the same way, because we are humans. We deserve to have different experiences, different things that bring us passion and joy. Just because you're a counselor does not mean you have to sit and talk about brains all day long and how to be calmer and how to focus and how to do all these cool things. You deserve to do what works for you in your off time, what works for you to build you up so you can be out there helping people. Now, I'm not saying that people go quit your day job or go quit whatever business you have. What I'm saying is, try to have some fun in what you're doing. Is this really lighting you up? And Angelita, will you talk a little bit about how people can explore something that they're not really sure is for them, but maybe it's calling to them? How would you encourage people to just say, hey, just try it without taking too much of a risk?
Absolutely. I would say now is the time. There are so many small business supports out there. There are free classes in the state of Michigan. The state of Michigan just put in millions of dollars to support small businesses. And what does that mean? That means taking classes, learning about financials, and really honing on who's your client. What is going to set you apart? What is different? There are thousands of brands of tequila. I am going to be going up against all of these well-renowned, famous people that are selling their tequila. Why would somebody pick mine over theirs? They're going to pick mine over theirs because I have a story and I'm an actual person that is just like everybody else. And so just thinking about what are the things that set you apart, it's going to be you. It's going to be your story, your authenticity, and you just never know what's going to happen. This might fail. It could be. And I'm having fun. I am enjoying the story, the narrative, teaching people about where tequila comes from. And so I would say go to your small business institutes. The Chamber of Commerce usually has retired business folks that will give you free classes and help you with the business plan. There are all kinds of resources. And so now is the time. If you even have an idea, just make sure that you are looking at your resources because it might even be free for you. There's so many classes out there that are free right now. And so just take a chance on yourself. It might not go from 0 to 100. And at least you can say, I tried it. I am thinking about my idea and this is where I want to be.
I love that so much. You didn't even know I was going to ask that question, and you just nailed it. And thinking about what lights you up and what really brings that joy doesn't mean you have to be stuck with it forever because you can stop having that joy. You use that word, this season of my life. And I think it's a beautiful way to let people know that it's okay to change. It's okay to adapt. We heard in our acupuncture class yesterday about how our body actually needs different kind of nourishment at different times of the years, especially when there's a major in Michigan and up in Canada where Gregory and some others are from. I mean, we're getting into that colder spell. We're getting into that shift, and our bodies naturally want to be changed by the season in a positive way. And sometimes we force it into ways that it doesn't really align with us. So changing your career, changing your fun, your hobbies, your travel ideas, your expectations of who you are as a human, it's okay to change your seasons. Did you ever think you would slow down a few years ago? Did you always see yourself just conquering everything?
I never imagined I would even be a business owner. That was my husband's version. I was going to be a social worker. That's all I wanted to do. I knew I was going to go to college to be a social worker, and that was it. That was my vision. And he said, we can do it for ourselves. If you're going to work, I want it to be for ourselves. And ever since then, we have worked in partnership together, and that's where we are now. But to say this is where I was going to be, this was never the version. And this is where I am. And this is the life that I get to live. It's so rewarding and so fun because I get to create that narrative. And just like you said, Jackie, I have an amazing team and I would not be able to live this life if I didn't have support behind me. And my team is everything that I could have ever asked for. And how did I get here? Well, to be honest, my sister passed away in September of 2020, and then my mom passed away. We're going on 3 years now. And I think when we have our own traumas in life, those are the things that really pivot our vision and our mission in life. And like, am I really living a well-rounded life? Is this the life that I want to have on my obituary? And I think that's kind of where that vision changed for me because I was working 7 days of work. That clinic is my baby. I wanted to be there every day, all day long. And then guess what? I got to walk away and my team took care of everything. And so that is where I knew they were great, right? And then I began to say, you know what? I have that appreciation and I know that everything is going to be taken care of because they are going to run it how I would run it.
That is amazing. I love that so much. I want to digress really quick. I had the absolute amazing honor to know both your sister and your mom. I did a training with your sister, so we had a few meetings together. But Angelita's mom was actually on our agency's board of directors. She was really a startup of the conflict resolution agency in our town. Her name is on a lot of our documents and everything. And I had the pleasure to meet her and get to see her years and years ago. And then to think that we came full circle. And then Angelita and I worked together. And then we did a few meetings together. And now we're doing all kinds of stuff together. Guys, your season can change. Your world can change. And that's okay. Angelita, I cannot thank you enough. You are such a much needed person in the community, that your time is very limited and you took the time with us tonight, and it means the world to me. Guys, check her out, follow her. She is not quite as active on LinkedIn as some of us because you heard how busy she is, but you can still connect with her. And then once she gets that tequila in the United States, I will be, it'll probably be the very first time I have alcohol on my show. I will hold up your bottle, show it off to the world, and be able to support you in as many ways as we can. Angelita, thank you so much for spending your night with us. We appreciate you. Isn't she just the cutest? I mean, seriously, guys, she is out there conquering life, and it's not what she necessarily thought her life would look like a few years ago. And life can change us. Life, when we have trauma, when we have tough stuff, when there's change, it can lead us down. I am not even going to be able to function. I am going to rebel against everything. I'm going to walk away from my friends and my family. Or we can thrive and we can learn how to not just forget about those emotions and not ignore the grief and all that sadness, but to grow in it and decide, how can you be the best version of you in whatever that capacity is. Guys, you deserve to be okay. You deserve to be safe. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to do fun. You deserve to smile. I know there's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of frustrating things in this world right now, but you deserve so much more. And I really hope that you're going to be able to find that, and you're going to be able to see what works for you and how you can trickle out. Because guys, we have an impact on everybody, whether it's a good impact, a negative impact. We impact people. We have energy inside us that is meant to bounce off of other people and to really vibe. So find what works for you, find what lights you up. Reach out when you need mental health counseling. It's okay to ask for it. When you need support in other capacities, ask for it. You deserve it. Okay, guys, every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Just Jackson Guests. We got great people on deck next week. I cannot wait to just show all the people that's coming up, but make sure that you reach out if it's something that you want to do too. Guys, I'm going to roll us out with Mike's outro. I love it so much and I appreciate it so much. You guys take care. Okay, thanks for being here.
Thank you for coming, for spending your time with us at Just Jacks, where repair can align. Re-entry with dignity, justice that restores. Conflict finds peace as we open new doors. Yeah. Family reunification under the same moon. Thanks so much for coming. We'll see you soon. Thank you for coming.